and we saw the Amapiano guys, South Africa.
I'm on only beats this Sabio
Well, it's not
that
my
they were going to
but it's not my playing beats into the stadium. Can you actually beat your opponent?
opponents.
Well, welcome back to another episode on Better Sports Podcast. Please click the like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, we are on social medias, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Click follow, and as always, we will always interact with you on those platforms. My name is Amara, as always, and then I have my partner Ife
Ife
in the building. Yeah, we will be reviewing the first round of games on the ongoing 2023 African Cup of Nations.
Yep. Played in 2024.
Well,
See your ring.
let's
win Africa ring.
leave that in. Let's dive right into it. I think the theme of this Afcon should have been no grief for anybody,
Sincerely.
because we are seeing. Is it a tournament for underdogs, or what are we seeing exactly?
It's just a tournament where everybody is showing their mettle. Just a tournament everybody is showing their mettle. That no team can be underrated anymore. And I think if I watch some other previews of the Afcon, and you're like, this year is going to be a year of underdogs. But little people saw it coming. Not many people saw it coming.
Well,
rather.
not in the match they won, like the first round of
I think
games.
it's
We're
just
seeing
the
different
showing,
things
like-
going on. Well, now, very funny stats. Now, the last defending champions to make it to the Afcon qualifiners were Egypt in 2010. Since then, in 2012, Egypt didn't qualify for the Afcon.
Yeah.
In 2013, Zambia left the group stage. 2015, Nigeria didn't even qualify.
They didn't qualify.
Then
at all.
2017, Ivory Coast were kicked out in the group stage.
Group stage too.
And 2019, Cameroon left in round of 16. And in 2021, Algeria packed their bags in the
That's-
group stage.
I think Algeria's one was like really, really disappointing. Like very, very disappointing. Bad results then. But this season,
But then Senegal, the defending champions, have won the last 5 straight opening games of the tournament.
I think they're still the
And they
best
started
champions
this
of
time
this
around
decade.
with 3-0 against Gambia.
Yeah, convincing win for me. And or if you look at the games, out of all the games that were played in the match day, this game was the one that the favorites really, really showed that they were the favorites.
Yeah.
Like total domination, even before the red card happened. Total domination of the game, creating chances, scoring goals, and the fact that they are not. We were speaking about Senegal and the way they are transitioning from being how will I say, an ancient team to now winning their first title. Now bringing young
Ancient.
players. Yeah, of course.
Senegals will not like that word, ancient.
They are. What I'm just trying to say is that the system in that country has worked for this footballing side. Under 20, under 17, world, even in the females, if not that, Super Falcons, they agree. In the winning the Afcon now, even in the World Cup today, if not for the kind of strong opponent they face, but still they should show that they can be the top side in Africa, and look at the way they are defending their title.
Well, funny enough, the star player in that match, Kamara,
Yeah.
yes, he won. He was the best player of the tournament in the unders.
Yes,
And then he won the young player
of the tournament.
award, CAF. Yes.
Yeah.
And then he started with a bang. 2 sweet goals.
The second goal
Sumptuous.
was out of this world. I didn't expect that confidence from a young man making his
His
Afcon
debut. Yeah.
What a stunner that was. And he's also showing that the future is very, very bright for the Senegalese team, because even in the Afcon played, the under 20 Afcon too. They have amazing talent.
Well, you can remember on the bench for the Senegal side, they had a certain Cheku Kouate.
Kouate.
Yeah, so for Kamara to have benched, they had even Ghana was on the bench for them.
Yeah,
So tell you the caliber of players the Senegalese put out in play. And then this young man just said, Omo, I don't
can
come.
start.
I don't come. I'm announcing myself on the big stage. And where better than to do it on the biggest tournament
What a way to
in the
even
African
announce
scene.
it.
Exactly. 2 goals in the first game. But then not only Senegal actually convincingly, but then Morocco, who were one of the best team in Africa the
Yeah.
last 2 years, I would say.
Yes,
Especially
yes,
their
yes.
exploits in
In
the
the
World
World
Cup.
Cup.
Yes, and everybody's saying that is it just probably a flash in the pan, or will they actually go on to prove it? Because people say playing European opponents is quite different from playing
African opponents.
African opponent, and then they blew they let's call it blue.
Blew away.
Well,
But
3-0,
still
3-0
the same. The
also.
same. I think Morocco and Senegal were the only ones that like dominated the underdogs,
Yeah.
as in quotes.
Okay.
The Moroccans created chances, and the free flow of football. I think the surprise of this Afcon has to be the free flow of football. Like, no grief for anybody is really, really true, because even the small side, I'm like, is it Namibia that is playing ball like this? Is it Mauritania that is playing ball?
Well,
How?
in the view center where I watched some of the games, we have people who say that so far with the teams they've watched, Nigeria don't play exactly very fantastic
No.
football. And talking
Surprised.
about including the underdogs, like teams
True.
like you think you normally shouldn't even get a point throughout the tournament. People that you think that
Played
okay, they
well.
just came to mark attendance, but then Nigeria actually is not really like we have to struggle. We struggle. It's like we always chase games.
Namibia played so well to get that hard-fought win against Tunisia.
The first win in African Cup of Nations. That's the first win for Namibia ever,
Yeah.
and they did it against champions like Tunisia. Now imagine match day one, you have in the likes of Egypt failing to win their match. They had
Super
to.
Eagles.
They had to probably
Through
wait
that
till
But that
penalty from Mo Salah.
That penalty.
Don't worry, we'll
too.
get to the penalty and the decisions going on so far in the Afcon tournament. But then Egypt themselves had to wait for Salah's dime-minute penalty
Yeah.
for them to grab the
Which
point
he
in that
almost
match.
missed.
Well, he shall score. He did
But he
score. He
not
did
bow.
not score.
And the
Did that
first
one.
Liverpool fans that
What
time.
was
like,
the final score? 2-2.
They
Well,
won.
they got a point, and then also Victor Osimhen, after he missed glorious chance to win it for Super Eagles, but then his goal made it 1-1. His first ever African Cup of Nations goal.
It look like when they pinch you, you just slap the person back. That was how
I don't think
that
Nigerians.
was how
I don't
fast
think
they
Nigerians
responded.
thought that of all persons to miss those kind of chances or that particular chance, Victor Osimhen, who is like the star man
He's the
right
star man
now.
now. Well,
Yeah.
he actually came out in an interview like recently before the match day ended, and he spoke about his chances. Like at that particular time, before you say one or two things, everything don't bust. I know, but he said he would take his chances much more in the next
Subsequent
game.
games. Well,
know.
also Cameroon also held the draw 1-1. They
Yes,
went
against
behind
Guinea.
despite the let's say off-field issues with their Manchester United goalkeeper Onana,
That's very, very comical.
who thought maybe he would just fly in from England and straight into the
Who does
match
that?
day squad.
Even the
I heard
match
he was
that he
frowning his
forfeited for,
face. Eh,
what did they play?
he collected
Is it not 2 goals?
2 goals. Someone
Two?
said we'll soon get to Onana at 50, and you think he's probably celebrating his birthday. But his number of goals he has
I
conceded.
just considered a lot of goals in the Manchester United shirt.
But my point is that he knows that playing the game against Tottenham in the Premier League means that he's probably forfeiting his chance of playing in the first game.
So why the off and puff outside?
If you were Song, what would you do? Especially with the fact that he knew, like, was an agreement between the Federation, the FA, and Onana himself, and then he knew, and then yet he was
if I
giving
was
that
Song,
display.
exactly what the coach said. The coach said he said is that Onana he knows. He cannot expect him to just score.
From Song, Onana, throughout tournaments, we just chop bench.
For the second match, I feel no use himself.
Well, so funny enough, the person that is in place of him happens to be his own cousin,
Ondua.
in place for Ondua, yes.
The goal that he conceded was very, very comical. Like disruption from the defense, and suddenly the Guinean just pounced on it. Same thing with the Ghana too. The Ghanaians,
Yeah.
the Cape Verde second goal. I don't know what they were thinking of.
You know, Nigerians
Maybe they
drew
do
their
Ghana
game
jollof.
1-1, and then
Hey,
and then the Ghanaian sides were all out and then throwing banters, you know, and then they ended up losing to Cape Verde. And I can remember before the tournament kicked off, I said Cape Verde are one side that you definitely
Yeah, I actually did
you
not really
cannot
see it coming. The
underrate
person
them.
I was
expecting.
was actually Mali.
Well, Mali won their
Mali
game.
won
Yeah,
Burkina
Mali won
Faso.
their game also,
Mali,
and then
Burkina Faso, and both of them won.
yeah, Mali won their game also. But then away from the West African sides, the Nigeria and Ghana, down to South region of Africa rather, and we saw the Amapiano guys, South Africa.
Mona only beat this Abio.
Speaking of Persitao, I can remember when I was always tweeting about the fact that Brighton didn't really give him a chance
Chance
to
to shine.
yes
Yeah.
to shine in the Premier League, and then he had to go back to I think Al Ali.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you wait.
Yes, and then but then shockingly he missed a penalty in the first half of that particular game, and
And
then
you
they
missed all
paid the
that chances
price.
too.
They paid the price with Mali scoring 2 goals and winning the game 2-0. Well, not just Nigeria, Egypt, Ghana, Cameroon, Algeria, and also Tunisia all failed to win their first game in this tournament so
Well,
far.
I was also expecting Zambia to win, right?
Okay.
Expecting Zambia to win because they were my underdogs. We have Patindaka, we have some other good players who are coming up. But then, this match against DR Congo, they were defending all through. Somebody even tweeted that Patindaka is now a defender.
Well,
Though it was 1-1, but the keeper just kept. They had
well,
Congo had a lot
Zambia,
of shots.
DR Congo and
20-something
Zambia
shots.
had, let's say, it's a feature that may fixture. You probably say anybody can
They can win.
anybody can win, but when you open the tournament and the first round of games, you've seen the likes of Nigeria, Egypt, Ghana, Cameroon, Algeria, and Tunisia failing to get all 3 points. Then you probably say, okay, sit down tight, put your seatbelt on. We're in for a ride in this 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. But then the dominant ones, or rather the ones everybody always anticipated that they will win the tournament, probably the champions
Yeah.
or the like all them the favorites. They are
the one that
Morocco
surprised us.
and
Senegal.
Senegal, and also the host nation themselves. Ivory
Ivory Coast.
Coast, yes, all grabbed 3 points, and also Mali all grabbed 3 points in their own game. Now, people talk about VAR and issues because we talk about VAR, referee officiating,
A lot of
this, that. So far in the first round of games, like, what was like the ow moment? Like, how did you do that? Why will you give that? Concerning the officiating.
And for me, it had to be though it's questionable, the Egypt match versus Mozambique.
The penalty kick where
the
Salah
penalty,
scored.
the last minute penalty. I feel like if it were to be a smaller team, that incident happened to,
Yeah.
I just overlooked it.
Well, aside from the officials, the penalties incidents, we've had close to like 3 penalties, close to 3, I think, but there are about 3 penalties so far, and it's just the first round of games. And we've had red cards also.
Yeah, red cards.
Yes, and some comments I saw on social media were like, is it that CAF are knowingly just weakening the smaller
Smaller
teams
side.
because the red cards were dished out to teams that might probably say just came to mark attendance at the Afcon.
One in the Senegal match, Gambia. There was another one in the Egypt match too, and that's the Egyptians one was the one that I'm really really particular about because
Okay.
if it to be a smaller team that was against, I feel like it would not have been given the penalty because he already both of them were on air. They tried to like it was trying an acrobatic. It was an attempt, which though he touched the ball first, but it was 9 minutes, and anything could have happened. That was the last minute. But for them, they were so lucky that the ball even entered the net because Mo Salah, I'm sure some Liverpool fans that also are Egyptians, they could have been dreading that moment like, hey, hope Salah will not miss this penalty again. Like he missed a Liverpool.
Well, speaking about the big guys that turned up, we spoke about Victor Osimhen,
turned up in
Mo
what sense?
Salah, like
That
turned
scored?
up in scored, assist, good performance.
Yeah,
It mustn't
okay.
have to be you getting the goals or assists.
Yes.
At least you played well, even if you're a goalkeeper. The likes of Senegal, for instance, Sadio Mane, the big guns there.
Money shine.
Koulibaly, Mendy, former Chelsea
Koulibaly,
goalkeeper.
I must give a clap to Koulibaly. Koulibaly was phenomenal in that particular match,
Okay,
and it just shows that Saudi Arabia is not what you think.
it's not the Farmers League. Okay. Well, aside the Senegalese, speaking about going over to the likes of even the Guineas, those three
The
Guineas, the
three Guineas,
Guinea, yeah, the three Guineas in the tournament, Equatorial Guinea,
they
Guinea-Bissau, and
made it.
Guinea.
I think it was only
Yes,
Guinea-Bissau that did not bring an upset, but
yes. But the other Guineas,
Equatorial Guinea 1-1 against Nigeria. Um, what-
Guinea lost.
Guinea
Guinea lost
itself,
to
no, the Guinea itself, they played draw against
draw. I mean,
Cameroon.
Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau,
They
yeah, they lost.
lost to Ivory Coast, but then they actually did play well. They had
True.
chances to probably score goals. And aside for me, aside the midfield of Ivory Coast, talking about Seko Fofana, who is, I feel if Ivory Coast will go a long way in the tournament,
It's going to be key
Fofana
part.
would just definitely, if he's in his A game, he brings his A game into this tournament. Ivory Coast will go far. They have a fantastic midfield. Their attack,
Sangari,
their attack,
Frank Kessie,
yeah, Kese, Sangari,
and
and
Fofana.
Fofana, and their next games against the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Hmm.
Now, and Eagles, Ndidi was out injured and didn't make it to the tournament, and then the replacement
Replacement
Yusuf
to
is
Alassane,
also missing that
who
game.
played a fantastic game, the
Yeah,
first game.
but then he's gonna miss that particular game, and then you would think that because Nigeria needs to get
At least a
at
point.
least a point in that game.
At least a point.
At least because it's that point in time where Nigerians all around the world will probably get their four-figure tables, calculators, and start doing permutations of if this person win, you can't win, you can't drop points. Those things
If
are
for no be,
always.
if for no be like that,
Uh,
if for no be like that, now this was the kind of
well, I
stress
think
that
I
we are
think
trying to
I
avoid.
think I think like I said, tournaments when it all started, we are always going about we have the best players, we have the
I know,
best
I
attackers.
know, I actually said it
Actually,
in
the
the last
best
podcast.
the best attackers, but then
You don't expect too
you don't have
much.
a balance when you don't have midfield, creative midfield in that game. Even the goal that the
Osimhen scored.
not Osimhen scored, the
Oh,
goal
the
that we conceded actually, keeper couldn't do
they
anything
were not
about that
tracking
game
back.
because
The midfielders were not tracking back.
Iwobi was
to
just
the
standing there.
defenders.
Somebody said that Iwobi was standing as though they're running the ring around him to propose to him, and he was just standing there because he got the ball and probably would have put it away or at least put up a challenge, and he was just staring at the person that.
But the person that actually scored the goal, was Salvador. He
Yeah.
was on mark. He ran into the box.
No, I mean before the
Before- no,
cross
the
came
dribble.
in. Yeah, before the
The guy
cross
that
came
dri-
in. Yes, actually. So but outside that, for the firepower Nigerian have, they're not scoring lots of goals. The last three games they've played so far, competitive games against African sides that ended up in 1-1 draw, 1-1 draw, like okra soup throughout. So now and you ask again, they are scoring joy. They have scored just one goal. Teams that you think they have better
Squad.
forward players than in the tournament
Have
scored
gone to
3+
score
goals. Yes, and then you think of aside Osimhen, and one funny thing in that particular game is that it's as if every player was trying to look for Victor Osimhen.
No, I don't.
Even
I
when
don't
Chukwueze came in,
The plan is to look for Osimhen, fine, but sometimes they were selfish. Olaino had a chance, a glorious chance to square the ball to the striker to score because it was a tight place. I understand that you took the ball from. It was a sweet move. He was trying. He dribbled the defender, used it with his skill, got into a very very good attacking position. But if you had, when you're playing ball from the right side, you are actually boxed up. The keeper is looking so big, so you just have to pass it to the place where the post is looking so big, and the striker has the opportunity to play the ball in the net. But he missed the chance. The keeper saved it, and I must give kudos to the keeper.
even
too.
no, of course, Onu had a very very fantastic game. Even though he conceded to Victor Osimhen, but then he was the reason why it was just
1-1.
1-1. Yeah, exactly. Now, from Super Eagles down to Ghana, we always clamor for Kudus and the big stars there.
I was surprised to
Jordan
see Iñaki
Ayus,
Williams too.
Yak Williams. So,
They didn't turn up.
what think will happen now?
I think for the Ghanaians, it had to do with their midfield. They are missing Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey is not just a player that gives them that quality in the midfield. He also gives them that confidence that
Yeah.
okay, I have Thomas Partey. Even when he was at Atletico Madrid, where he was not well known
Yeah.
per se, till he moved to Arsenal. Though he was known in Atletico Madrid due to his Champions League performances, but what made him move to Arsenal was when people started seeing his quality. They started saying that, oh, this guy, even in the Ghanaian side, he has been performing. And
So you think they
they're
definitely
actually
miss
missing it. They're
Thomas
missing it.
Partey?
They are missing Thomas Partey because what will link the defense, the ball to the attack is the midfield, and the midfield needs to be worked on. So for that, Ivory Coast, their midfield was so good. Senegal, their midfield was so good. Morocco,
Mali.
Moro- even Mali too. They had Bissouma, Aidara, Leipzig.
So
So
teams that
teams
actually
that have been
functioning
doing
well
well
and did
in
well are
midfield as
actually
exactly for Morocco, you have Amrabat, Unahi, and sometimes you have the midfielders coming in, the defenders coming in, Hakimi coming in, surprising, and Unahi scored a very very sweet goal too.
yeah.
I must say, but just showing you that the base of the teams that have been winning so far has been
The
the midfield. We
midfield.
don't know what
Yes.
Matchday 2 will bring. We
Okay.
don't know what maybe the defenders will be the ones to be scoring. We don't know.
Well, Saiz scored for
Roman
Morocco.
Saiz,
Yes,
yeah,
he scored for
great
Morocco.
defender
Then
that guy.
yes, but then for you now, after the first round of games so far, with the surprise results and the shockers and the not so good performance from you, which team would you say had been the most convincing side?
Yeah, it has to be between Senegal and or Morocco, but I'll give it to Senegal.
Senegal
Yeah, but yeah, well, I'll give it to Senegal because they controlled the game.
from start to finish.
They controlled the game, and even before the red card, though you say that there was a red card too, but before the red card, they were creating chances, and there are some teams that even when they got the red card, they didn't score again.
Yeah,
Yeah, they didn't score again. So the Moroccans too, you might say that, because Tanzania also got a red card in that particular match. So I'll give it to them because Guinea got a red card in that particular match. Cameroon did not. They didn't take advantage of that. They didn't take advantage of it. So, but I am rooting out for Senegal for another a good performance too, and I'm rooting out for Morocco. Senegal will take on Cameroon. Big one. Uh, I'll still root it for Senegal. I'm giving it to Senegal in that particular fixture. Morocco too. They'll be taking on DR Congo. That might be quite tough because DR Congo, Johan Wissa, Cedric Bakambu, they are not to be underrated. And when we saw the Brentford guy,
yeah,
he scored for them. He was one
he
that
did.
scored
Yeah,
in
he did.
their first game against Zambia. So moving forward, even if you have to even check the standings of how it
No,
has been
before the
so far.
standings, again, you said Senegal has to be the most convincing team for you so
Yeah,
far,
and then the
and
one
then
I'm watching, I'm waiting to
you want
watch.
to watch. Okay, then for the players, like players, say standard players, it's too early to call who will be the MVP of the tournament. But then you already have a player who has 2 goals, who is already the top scorer so far. Talking about Kamara, young Kamara from Senegal. But which player stood out for you? Say player of round one, definitely.
It has to be Fofana, Seko Fofana of Ivory Coast.
Because
Number one, because I did not expect that kind of performance from him in the first match, and
really,
yeah, I did not. I've known him to be.
Fofana
Yeah, I've known him to be.
from Lens
Yes,
that
I've known him to
captains
be.
them to
I've known him to be
eventually get into Champions League, and then he dipped and went to Saudi Arabia.
but he has still been bowling for Al Nasir.
Yeah,
He's been bowling for Al Nasir, so I didn't expect a central midfielder per se or a defensive midfielder. It depends on how they use him.
yeah.
To he had another glorious chance to score
Now hit the
outside the
bar.
box. That hit
Yeah.
the bar. It was an all-round performance from him, and I just have to give it to him. It was my player of
So
the
well, for me,
match day.
people say yes, he scored 2 goals, but then you can just come up in a big stage in the midst of senior
Adults.
senior guns, like people that have done it, and people who are actually defending champions. You're
Yeah.
benching a former captain and talking about
Checo
Kouate,
Kouyaté.
and then you come up in that stage, and then you just spring up two, not just anyhow goals,
Tapping.
2 sweet sumptuous goals.
Not anymore.
Definitely has to be
Tapping.
Kamara for me as the player of round one in the Afcon 2023. Then before we move to the next features, like talking about rounding up the episode and talking about the next games coming up, the one thing about tournaments is about the turnout, fans coming out to come and watch the games. And so far, aside the opening game and maybe the game Mali's game, I think, yeah. But then Super Eagles game, I'm seeing like lots of empty seats, and even
Not only
even the
that game.
opening game, the
Not only
opening
that
game
They didn't
was a
come early.
60,000 seated
Seated.
stadium, but then the attendance was 30 something thousand.
I think for this AFCON, a lot of people were not expecting this kind of. I'm so sure that this next round, a lot of people will turn up.
Really.
Yeah, a lot of people will turn up because they are not just going there for it's just another Afcon. What are they going to do there again? So we already know that this without this is a different ball game, and I'm
So you
sure I'm
think
going to see an
so
improvement.
what exactly is the factor that attendance is very low? What's the factor, like the main issue?
I can't really say that this is the factor because if we talk about the weather conditions, those people that probably the traveling fans don't have a choice to just come since they already traveled.
Traveling fans. Now, people spoke about people that traveled from Nigeria, for instance, by road,
Yeah,
who got to Abidjan because by road, complain about the cost, because you talk about cost of living now, like cost of things in the world, the exchange rates moving from one African country to another, and then people that are moving from Nigeria, for instance, are going through Benin
yeah,
Republic.
Benin.
Now, people are saying the cost of the exchange rate from just from here to Abidjan, the amount they spent to get to that place is a whole lot. Now, how do CAF ensure that like subsequent games are not getting this low? Because so far it's going to be it's I would say it's a low turnout for fans. And how do you get, because
No,
your players need to feel the fans' presence there in the crowd, because when you watch
true.
European games, even the World Cup, even in Qatar that happened during the
2022.
November December period, we saw fans also. The stadiums were closed out.
Yeah,
Women's World Cup, we
Women's
saw
World Cup
in
was
Australia,
yes,
New Zealand, we saw
a lot of
stadiums also
turnouts.
filled up. So now, for we to talk about, we want people to actually talk about Afcon and not say it's just a less competition, like no much let's say rounds of talk about it. You want the turnout, like fantastic fans. You always see fans come out in different
Tournaments.
tournaments. I mean, in their attires, like all these funny attires,
Yeah, true.
very traditional. Some
No,
of
it's
them
just that
very loud.
most of them came, but they were not just. You know how the ambience will be when it's a full house.
Yeah.
It's much enjoyable
Well,
for the
even
players
if
to.
though for Super Eagles, even though I saw a video a queen from Latifat, yes, Latifat, yes, she actually is a Nigerian sports journalist who is in covering the Afcon event. She posted a video of Nigerians' reactions on when we scored, when Osimhen
Yeah,
equalized in that game, and it was glorious. And also, she posted the videos of when Osimhen missed that chance,
yeah,
and it was like miss different reactions all in one. But then just that let's say those moments are what make football the tournament enjoyable, because when you
true.
come out,
You don't know
just the
what next.
noise. You hear people come talk about atmosphere in stadiums like Anfield, and it's about not just about because the stadium
Not
are
even because of
being
the
magnificent,
pitch,
but
and you
then
know there's some
it's
people
the
that will not
fans
even
that,
see the players
yes,
very well, but
yes, it's the
just
fans, the noise that that place, like the when you score goals, like place just erupts, and those things like that are sure that's what definitely would, aside the football and fantastic football and great tournament in the past 2 3 years, talking about Nigerian artists
Nigerians performing.
and football and hosting or gracing football biggest or let's say
Y-
stage.
You know,
Yes.
it's quite surprising that it's not Nigerians are not just dominating. How will I say attacking moments. Like I mean, the stars that we've brought out is not just focusing on football alone. The music industry has
No,
done.
yeah, the music. Of course, this is not a music show, right?
It's not a music show,
But I mean, like the musicians from Nigeria also have graced football events. Because imagine you being on the world stage, Davido. You get Champions League. We had someone in Champions League. Afcon. We had someone in Afcon. Like every
true.
tournament that's going on, we have at least a Nigerian artist present to grace the occasion. And
It's a whole lot,
we
and
are,
as Nigerian, I'm very proud,
if only
very
Super
proud.
Eagles can just help our life, please.
Let
Help
them
our
help,
life.
help,
Help
we need
our
to help
life.
all
Well,
the hype.
speaking of Super Eagles and helping our life, the next round of games, definitely the next, Nigeria had just 1 point, and Ivory Coast have 3 points.
Yeah,
And the big game, Ivory Coast against Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yes, Nigeria won Ivory Coast en route to winning the
2013.
2013 actually, sorry, 2013
You want
title,
Nigeria to win this
title.
one?
And I said it before. Nigeria win this Afcon. So my club, Manchester United, we can probably win the Premier League.
They play.
But then, aside Ivory Coast, Nigeria. We also
Yeah,
have a big one, Egypt, Ghana.
that one is something. I think every group in the second round has
Yes,
like a big
big game.
game to.
Senegal, Cameroon, another one.
Yes, and I also have to look
Algeria,
out for.
Burkina Faso, Tunisia, Mali,
Why don't you want to look at the Guinea and Gambia?
Guinea, and
Yeah,
Gambia.
that we I spoke about in the preview. We're talking about the group of death has to be Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and Gambia.
Okay.
So anybody playing anybody in that group is something to always watch out for. Another one, Morocco
South
and DR
Africa,
Congo. I'm looking
Namibia
at.
is another, like a derby, sort of. Yeah, it's a derby. South Africa, Namibia, and then Namibia have a point already.
Yeah,
South Africa have I'm on piano right now, but
no
they don't have any
points.
points, no points. But then it's going to be an interesting one, and always, when form flies out the window when two sides like Nigeria, Ghana is meeting, and even if
If
Ghana,
not,
even if both
if you are
sides
not
are
fighting
in
for
the
Jollof,
well, aside Jollof derby, even if both sides are in a terrible run of form, there's always this fire and extra energy when you're playing against someone you call a rival
well,
or
Namibia has just still topping them, sha, three
yeah.
point already, and like you said, those some piano vibes. Do you know that before they played that match,
Uh-huh.
when it was halftime, I don't know the person handling that calf with their page, especially on Facebook.
Okay.
They were playing 0-0 halftime. They now posted South Africa video when they were coming into the dressing room.
Yeah.
They were playing beats, and they're saying South Africa bringing the vibe to the competition, not knowing
Well, it's not
that they
my
were going to
but
collect
it's not my playing beats into the stadium. Can you actually beat
beats
your opponent?
opponents.
Yeah. So for fans of Super Eagles, the Black Stars of Ghana, the Pharaohs of Egypt, yes. Where exactly do you think your country is lacking, or what did they do wrong? What went wrong in the first round of games,
What they think
and
can
what did the
improve.
coach Jose Pesero knows that Nigerians are we are going through a lot, and we'll
Mm.
probably go through a lot through him if this Nigerian side failed to make it out of the group stage. Well, we
Well,
have a chance. There's also the position of best losers.
but
Third,
for even for the best losers, there is a table for that too.
well, true. So you have to at least not concede too much goals. You get ahead, so they can have chance of at least making it out. But Nigeria in the group where you have Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria, you expect at least Nigeria and Ivory Coast to be the top two
Top two sets.
sides. Like
Actually,
on paper,
actually the both of them.
top two
It's the
sides. But
both of them
then
that are actually topping the
paper
group.
doesn't play the game on the field of play. You actually have to show
Play
that
it on the
you
match.
want it. Yes, and show that you want it. So comment on drop a comment on the comment section, and let us know which side has impressed you so far. But it's very early stages, but which
Yeah.
side have impressed you so far? Which side have actually been disappointing? Who hasn't even come to the party at all? Like they're still sleeping in their hotel room, or they're yet to arrive in Ivory Coast. And which player has already given you like, this player? Now you are the watch check out for
In
every
this tournament.
match in this tournament, definitely. Thank you for listening. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and follow us. Yes,
Oh,
they
media
follow us.
platform.
Follow us. Follow,
Every
follow,
platform.
follow,
Oh,
follow.
every
Yeah,
platform.
and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Adios.